your life and specifically your battle with depression in your very important piece in the Players Tribune. First of all, again, thanks for doing that because I think it's important. Did that open up conversations with other people about getting help? What was kind of the feedback you ended up getting from that piece?
Just everybody was real positive about it. And you know what I mean? For me, I don't like that kind of attention. Like in the ring, I like attention when I'm in there, fighting. But outside the ring, I really don't like that, attention. But getting the attention from that, knowing that people that I talk to are now open and talking more about their mental health to their significant others or their family, that means a lot to me. When I do these autograph signings, meet and greets for AEW, and, I have little kids or their moms and dads or anybody coming up to me telling me that, that piece helped them or that they're going through it. And I just tell them, keep fighting. You know what I mean? This is normal to me. Mental health is a normal thing. So that's why I tell people.
In an industry full of macho men who don't really want to open up about their feelings, I had P.D. Williams to talk to me at the time and help me through my issues. I feel like it may have started 3 or 4 years ago for you, where you were more vocal than anybody else in the wrestling industry about the mental health aspect. When and how did you kind of get to that point where you can openly talk about it in that industry?
Honestly, it had to happen when a close friend of mine, Larry Sweeney, passed away when he committed suicide. And I just had enough. You know what I mean? I had enough of us not talking about it. I had enough of people pulling me to the side and be like, hey, Eddie, I go through this and that. And I'm like, yeah, okay, tell people about it. And they wouldn't do it. And then next thing you know, they, not saying act up, but they're dealing with their demons. And by mistake, they throw that energy off to someone else in a negative manner, and then they're in trouble. I'm like, I do that. I did that for 18 years in wrestling. You know what I mean? So I was like, we got to start talking about it now. We got to be open about it, because not being open about it, we used to do that in the past, and we've lost a lot of good people, either from suicide or ODs, because they couldn't deal with what was going on because they were too afraid to talk about it, so they dealt with it in a different manner. I grew up with a bunch of alcoholics in my family. So the way they dealt with their feelings or their mental issues was, we're going to get really hammered, maybe do a little, candy, and then see what happens at night. You know what I mean? And then I've heard stories my whole life about my uncles fighting all the time in the Bronx, to the point where I'll never forget. I was talking to my girlfriend about this the other day. When I realized how tough the world could be, I was in 2nd grade, and a mother told her daughter not to hang out with me because I'm going to turn out to be like my uncles. So when I heard that switched my whole demeanor. I just became I decided if I'm going to be a black sheep, if I'm not going to be given a chance, I'm going to be the blackest sheep you've ever seen. So I'm going to fight everyone in the school. I'm going to fight everybody everywhere else. You know what I mean? And it was also me dealing with my own mental stuff, even at that young of age. Why don't people like me? Why, being mixed? Why don't the Irish side like me? Why don't the Puerto Rican side like me? All this stuff is going through a kid's brain.
Yeah.
And then, you hit teenage years, and then you're filled with testosterone, and you're just angrier then, too. So it's like a snowball effect. You know what I mean? You don't talk about it, and it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger until you explode, or you do something to either A, hurt yourself, or B, hurt someone else because you don't know how to deal with it. And I think it's over now. I think it's about time now. Everybody wants to be woke, and it's 2022 and everything. Okay. Then let's talk about stuff that's going on with us inside. Then let's not just do the artificial stuff. Let's go deep then. If we're going to be real woke about it, let's get deep then about it. Because someone in the AEW locker room, I'm not going to say who it was, because, it's not my place. They said something to me like, Eddie, I don't feel normal. And I laughed. And I said, what does that mean? We make our own normal. Nobody tells me what's normal. No one tells Lars what's normal, or Dennis what's normal, anybody. We make our own normal. Because not everybody has to deal with what we have to deal with, on our own. So that's the thing I stick with. There ain't no such thing as normal, folks. You make your own.